A Wizard World welcome for Eliza Dushku. Woo!
Stephanie, you can sit wherever you like. That's me.
That's
yes.
you.
Wow, give it up for this lady. You warmed up this place big time. I like it. You didn't miss a beat. I was like, you were naming things I did that I couldn't even remember. That was amazing.
Well, we are homies, you know.
My Boston homie, too. I didn't know that.
It's for real. No,
Nice.
no joke. So you can probably
Hi,
hear
guys. This is a big room. I like it.
We're going to go ahead and get started with questions. People are lining up in the middle.
Hi.
And we're going to get started with our favorite Vulcan.
Sweet. Hi. Howdy.
Hi, we're a big fan. My whole family's a big fan of Faith's character on Buffy, and we especially love all your lines, your catchy phrases. My question is, how much influence did you have, or was it mostly just Whedon's phrases? And also, what is 5 by 5 anyway?
I can't take credit for 5 by 5. That was definitely Whedon, and it means. Oh, come on, I'm gonna say what it means, and then someone's gonna be like, no, it means blah, blah, blah. Because I'm always corrected. But as far as I always knew, it meant like I'm good at, what is it? Someone say it, call it out. Loud and clear. I mean, there's, I think, a few definitions I've found out over the cons. But it means like, I'm good. And I think that there were a few Eliza Boston-isms that came out of Miss Faith's mouth, but I can't really recall what. He definitely started writing her real Boston, though. Like at the one point, we're like in the mayor's office. I'm telling the story. I'm like, we were at the Quincy Quarry, and that was, yeah.
No R's. That's right. Thank you so much. Great question.
I got off the plane last night, and I had on like a big yellow sweatshirt that said Boston across the front, and there was this little old lady and her husband, and they were like waiting for me when I got off the plane, and the lady was like, excuse me, where did you get your sweatshirt? And she was like 80, and I'm like, is she fucking screwing with me right now? Like, I'm like, and then finally I was like, Boston? And then it turned out she was from Boston too and just wanted to know where I got it, like the store. But I was like, wow, this lady's on fire right now. She's really trying to clown me. You're in Austin now.
All right, young man, you are up.
Young man. Thank you for calling me young, first of all.
You're welcome.
So by 2009, when Dollhouse premiered, there had been a little bit of a history of Whedon shows, Whedon projects not completely going all the way through multiple seasons like Buffy did. So the question is, you've heard, when you got, or when you were getting ready to do this project, how did you approach it going into it? Did you kind of think, this probably isn't gonna last? Or did you kind of, like, what was the whole, the process like for you?
Yeah, we were all like, we'll just, whoa. Yeah! Everyone start doing Gangnam Style
Buffy
right now.
Style, yeah. I'm waiting for a vampire to come out.
That was kind of hot.
I like that. Yeah.
No, we had high hopes, and we sort of had a sense that it was a show that could go on and on. There were so many different ways we could turn it and spin it, and we had a little trouble with our Friday night time slot, and Joss has spoken about it pretty openly. It felt like we pitched an idea, and the studio was like, yeah, totally, that's what we want too. And then as they sort of came together, it was a little different, and we reshot the pilot, and it was a little bit of a conflict of what they had hoped for and what we were trying to make. And so we were really happy that we got to finish the second season, and that we have two, chunky, solid, cool seasons of that show. And then, I had to let him go to do this little teeny movie, The Avengers, so I feel like...
So there's that.
Yeah, there's that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. LeVar Burton gave me this RC Cola, and I'm like having an old school flashback right now. This is awesome. Reading Rainbow, I mean Star Trek Next Generation, but Reading Rainbow, I grew up on that show. I was singing it to him over lunch, and I think he wanted to throw a rib at me.
Hi, I just wanted to let you know that anything you do is great. I actually took my little sister to see Bring It On twice,
Wow.
and I enjoyed it. It was
Thank you.
great. I told her it wasn't enjoyable, but it was great. So I wanted to ask you which of your favorite shows were the most fun for you?
What do you mean?
Well,
Sorry.
you were in a bunch of shows with, Buffy and Angel and Dollhouse, and I wanted to see which one was the most fun.
It's hard to say what's the most fun because, I mean, honestly, I'm an old lady. It's been 20 years, more than. And I feel like art kind of imitates life, and wherever I've been at whatever time I was working on something, that was a little piece of where I was. And so I can't really pick favorites. I mean, definitely Faith was badass. I mean, that was a lot of fun and one of my favorite characters, but Dollhouse was really dope too. I've loved some of the comedy work, Big Bang Theory, and there's just a lot of different avenues that are all kinds of different funs.
Well,
Hi!
I also wanted to let you know that you have fabulous
cussing.
hair.
There are a lot of kids in the room. Sorry.
I also wanted to let
horrible
you know
example.
that you have fabulous hair. So way to go.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much. You too. You got some wild and crazy.
Hi.
Hi.
I was wondering, what was the transition like from going from Buffy to Angel?
Was there a transition? It was pretty smooth, and it felt like we were in the same pants. We were in the same people, and it was awesome. And I loved sort of how they worked in all the different crossovers. And hey, this keeps happening. This is awesome.
This is very odd anyway.
Wow, and the flashes are going. This is like very Halloween-y.
I'm waiting for the disco ball to lower. We can start dancing.
Is somebody messing with us, or is it just
I
kinda like
have no idea. I have a feeling
total-
someone's doing it by accident and
Frankenstein?
unwittingly.
Wow.
Maybe we're being punked.
This is cool.
Is that still happening?
That's nice lighting right there. Let's keep it at that.
Yeah, it is mood lighting.
Nice. I like this.
Yeah, we like our mood lighting.
Wait, did I answer your question? Yeah, I did. I got.
Thank you so much. Batman, you are up, sir.
Okay. Yes, this is more of a generic question, but what was that defining moment in your life where you realized that acting was what you had to do?
It was after I had debuted as Faith, and I was raised. My mother is a professor, and she does all kinds of serious, important stuff in the world, and travels and teaches about comparative politics. And I always thought I would. Oh, here we go. And I just sort of fell into acting, and I always thought it was really fluffy and superficial, and that I had to eventually go on and do something like that made a difference in the world, and that was really important because I had this sense that that it wasn't until I did Faith, and then I started getting this response from people that really rocked my world. And I would get letters from young women or young men who would say things like, I was being abused, and Faith came on the show, and I confronted my abuser, and I mean really deep and powerful stuff that made me go, wow, I really sort of hadn't taken a look at the effect that this art can have on people's lives in a really deep and serious way. So that was when I first realized that it was important and stuff.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
How's it going?
Nice costume, by the way. You get an A.
First off, thanks for coming. I'm pretty
Thank
sure I'm not
you.
the only one that appreciates you being here.
Aw. I love
And
when
now
you
a
could do
question
that
on a little
stupid
bit
stuff.
more, less career-wise. If you had to choose, would you rather fight one horse-sized duck
Oh,
or
this is another one of
100
these.
duck-sized horses, and how would you get it out?
Wait, come at me again?
1 horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses, and how would you make it out?
I could take a horse-sized duck in a heartbeat. Come on. Run under his legs and then just like trick him, and yeah, I'd go A.
All right.
Former. That's gonna be like my new T-shirt. I could take a horse-sized duck. What? Hashtag.
Hi, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Doing well, thank you. I was curious to know, which role did you prefer playing, or actually I should say which TV series in the way of Angel versus Buffy? Which one did you prefer playing at that time?
Again, I mean, I can't say one was better than the other because it was the same sort of journey for the character, and there was some really deep and cool stuff that I did with Angel on Buffy, and then likewise on Angel with Angel, and I don't know. I mean, they were both really. Sometimes I honestly can't even remember where in the story we were, like technically what world we were in, because to me, like it so seamlessly put Faith together and took her apart and dragged her like through the streets behind a bus, and then
All right.
all that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Off a building. Yeah.
Was it more fun or more of a challenge with Dollhouse, getting to remake the character time and time again, but still trying to get back to the same idiosyncrasies and keeping it true to the baseline?
It was both, and there were times where, I wish that I had had a little more time to kind of do sort of research for different characters, or TV can move really fast, and. But, I asked for every single bit of it. When Joss and I had lunch together, I just was like, I just want to play a different person, like 7 different people every week. And he was like, all right. So I asked for every bit of it. And it was, sometimes it was more difficult than others. By the time we got into the second season and she was just like bouncing around left and right, I felt completely schizophrenic, but it was kind of fun.
Okay, so I know you've done a lot of movie work. And
Are you the birthday girl?
Yes.
Happy birthday!
Thank you.
You're like, now I hate you. I'm embarrassed.
No, it's fantastic.
I love doing that to
love
people.
You did Noble Son and Bottle Shock, which are two of my favorite movies. I introduced
thanks.
Bottle Shock to my entire family.
Nice.
And they love it. How was it working with Alan Rickman on those two?
Alan Rickman is no joke. I was pretty humbled and psyched to work with him, and he's awesome. He's smart, he's funny, he's he tells great stories, and Randy and Jody Savin and Randy Miller were a husband and wife team, and I chased them down for the role in Nobel Son. I remember like going into my audition for City Hall, and she was a little bit of a loony bat. So I came in complete, like I brought masks into my meeting, and I was just all over the place. And then they graced me with that part.
You get to knock him down a couple of pegs in both movies.
What?
You get to knock him down a couple of pegs in both movies, his characters.
Yeah. So he's awesome. I'm a big fan.
Thank you.
Thank you. And happy birthday.
So I'm a huge fan of the Dollhouse series, and I was really impressed by how you can portray so many different personalities that are so diverse. I was curious which one of those was actually your favorite to play.
I've never been asked that. What was that? The Dominatrix? She asked for my favorite, not your favorite, sir. I enjoy... Rick? Fifth row. I loved the second episode where I got to just run through the mountains and the forest in Los Angeles Crest, and the bow hunting episode. And I also enjoyed the episode where I played Margaret, and I got to work with the incredible Olivia Williams, and that was like so terrifying, and so she's so sophisticated and lovely, and then Joss made me put my hair up, and I want to kill him because I get really, he's like, your comfort zone lies in your hair, and I'm gonna really mess you up. I'm like, what are you talking about? It doesn't. He like pinned my hair up, and I just felt so naked and startled and afraid, and then he made me do scenes with this amazing actress, and so it was like that terrifying, fun, scary, awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hey, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So you're like linked to Joss Whedon a lot with with the Dollhouse.
We are linked.
Faith and
yes.
stuff like that, and you play a lot of strong, kick-ass women in a lot of these roles. Mm-hmm. And now he's developing that new S.H.I.E.L.D. show for ABC, I believe. Any
I hadn't
link
heard
possible?
of that.
Well, I have.
Oh, interesting.
And even
just tell me more.
I don't know. Off the Avengers.
I promise you, if I had something to share, I would share it with you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Oh, I haven't heard, whoever the cake maker is who wanted to know what his favorite cake is, he hasn't texted me back yet, but I'll get you on Twitter. Does anyone else know what Joss's favorite kind of cake is? No? Yeah, me neither. He was going kind of low carb last time I saw him, though.
You started a TV show called True Calling, and you got one season, and where were they going?
Like 1 in 6 episodes.
Yeah, you were cheated out of your second season. Where were they going with it? But when they introduced
I mean, I know they brought the priest on, and they wanted the priest to be like the angel of death, and I was the angel of life, and they were planning a whole thing with that. But yeah,
was
then
that like
we got
a creative difference, or was it again like like too biblical or something?
I honestly, it was just one of those times where, I mean, that is how it normally works, where when you get canceled, they're like, and don't show up to work tomorrow, thanks, and they cut it off. With Dollhouse, it was great that they gave us the whole rest of the season to play it out and finish it off. But yeah, that one kind of got.
I liked it.
Thanks. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
I did too.
Thank you.
I watched every episode.
Hello.
A lot of running. A lot of running, though.
Hello.
Hi, cutie.
On Bring It On and Buffy the Vampire Slayer, you did like a lot of cool like stunts. Did you do them yourself or like?
Totally. Yes. I mean, duh. I'm a professional stunt woman and cheerleader and everything. Okay, there were like a few things I didn't do. I'm talking like 2, 3 maybe. But I like to do as much as I can. I'm a very like physical person. I like to, you know what I hate? I hate when I'm watching, no disrespect to all the amazing stunt people out there, but I hate when I'm watching and I see like, a shot of myself like about to jump into something and then I just see a wig fly by. I'm like, ugh! I don't like that, so.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
Why did you pick, or why did you choose to star in True Calling, and what was your favorite thing on set, or how was the set like?
Why did I choose? I really loved when I first read True Calling. It was actually called Heroine, like a female hero, not the other kind, and that apparently was too confusing for some people because we couldn't tell people we were going up to Vancouver to shoot heroin. So they renamed it True Calling, and it just, I don't know, I loved the ability for this character to, kind of change destiny or save people, because again, from my mom, I think there's always that desire to like save the world. And then what are favorite experiences from the set? Anything with Zach Galifianakis were my favorite and the worst experiences of my life because he's insane. Probably my favorite parts were watching him go to comedy clubs after work, and he would like bomb. Like a lot of Canadians did not get his humor, and he hadn't been in The Hangover, and he hadn't been anyone yet. So he would go to these comedy clubs, and I would sit in the back row, and he'd say, "Do you want to come to a club tonight and watch me bomb?" And I was like, "Yes, it's my favorite thing ever." So those were always really fun nights.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Eliza.
Hi.
You're awesome.
Thanks. What's your name?
Annabella.
Hi, Annabella. You're dope too, girl.
You've played so many really fabulous characters. They're strong, and a lot of time they have like vulnerable scenes or scenes where you get to see different sides of them. And I was just wondering, like, of those many characters you've played, which have you identified with most, and which scenes?
I never play vulnerable. I'm just tough. I loved that we got to see both in Faith. I think that there were some really vulnerable times for her, and those were, I loved the episode of Angel where we jump out the window. No, did we jump out the window, or did I throw someone out the window? I can't remember. But where we're in the alley, and that was like a really deep scene with David Boreanaz, and I don't know. I just have been really lucky to have. Joss is definitely somebody that loves to see me doing the tough bad A girl, and then he also loves to really like tear me down and have me like weeping in fetal position on the floor. So it's really nice to be able to do both.
Thank you.
But thank you for your comments.
You are awesome.
Thank you.
Hi.
I love your hat.
I'm a Canadian.
I like it. But do you think Zach Galifianakis is funny?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
I wanted to know if you have a television program that you wish you had been part of.
Did someone just tell me what to say? I thought someone said, "Say such and such." I'm like, but no, no. I don't know. I mean, yeah, there are a lot of great shows on TV, but I remember I went in for, what was it called? 6 Feet Under. And that was one that I really loved. And then it didn't happen. But then other things happened. And then I've been watching a lot of Walking Dead lately. I really like that show. I saw my friend Norman earlier. I was like, hey. But that would be kind of cool.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. So obviously, throughout the course of Buffy, Faith goes through a lot of changes and starts off sort of morally ambiguous and then becomes worse and then becomes better. So I was wondering what it was like to play.
Do it, girl. Go on.
So I was wondering what it was like to play so many different sort of across the spectrum of moral reasoning, and how you were able to keep the basis of who Faith was while making her both good.
I don't feel smart enough to answer this question. You're making me uncomfortable. No, you're awesome. It's a very good question. Wait, what was your question? How was it, or what? Well, what was it like playing all those?
Well, first of all, what was it like playing the different levels of moral reasoning, and then second of all, how were you able to keep the essence of the character while fluctuating the moral reasoning?
I think that, it just, anytime you get to layer your character with more than just one note, it's always just, it's exciting as an actor to get to play that. And sort of one of the things I love about working with Joss is you really, he doesn't tell you if you're gonna be killed, he doesn't tell you if you're gonna, where your character's going necessarily. So you're literally reading every script, and I've said he's like a novelist, in my opinion. He rolls out these characters chapter after chapter, and every time you read the script, you're seeing sort of where your character's going, and you get to sort of digest it, but not for very long, and you just jump right in. And there's so much complexity, and there's so many different ways. But it made me just kind of love that crazy chick more and more, because she wasn't just, it wasn't black or white. She wasn't just evil. She wasn't, a bad girl or a good girl. She was all the different, colors in between. And it was, to me, that's a really complex and awesome character.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. A+.
Hey.
Hi.
Okay, I love all of your shows, of course.
My
but-
twin over there.
Yes.
Yeah.
What was it like filming Wrong Turn? That's my favorite movie ever. So.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun. We shot up in Toronto, and the only not fun part was the poison ivy that I got covered all over my ass. And because the director, Rob Schmidt, wanted us, running through the woods, and he wanted it very real. And so most directors will go location scouting, and they'll see an area and say, I want to shoot here. And then the set people will come, and they did a lovely thing, which was clear all the areas of poison ivy. And then the director showed up and basically was like, yeah, that wasn't the area I picked. Let's go shoot over there in that poison ivy patch. So we had poison ivy, and otherwise I loved shooting the tree scene. The trees was, some of it was out in the forest, and then a lot of it was in this studio. And I just remember walking into the studio, and I mean, it was, maybe 4 times the size of this room, and they had built this forest with all of these different wires and contraptions and different things. That it was gorgeous, and it was just playing in a giant, crazy, effed up jungle gym. It was really cool, and I loved that. It was a fun shoot.
Yeah, it was an amazing movie. Thank you.
I just remembered a not fun other part. I remember when we were doing the scene where they were cutting up my friends, and I was hiding under the bed, and it was towards the beginning of the movie, and I'm doing my close-up next to Desmond, and the director he's standing next to the camera, and he starts going, Eliza, now, that's how he talks. It's like Frankenstein. He's like, Eliza, now they're cutting off your Mama Judy's arms and legs. And I was like, what? I was crying, and he went through my family, and he was picking them off one by one, talking to me through the camera. I was sobbing. It was awful. He was a horrible human being. But otherwise, it was great.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
love you.
Thank you. I love you too, Mama.
You've just said you do a lot of your own stunts. Has there ever been a stunt or a scene where you've put your foot down and went, I don't want to do this, or I don't want to do it this way, and recommended a change?
There hasn't really been stuff I didn't want to do. I've done things at times that I didn't do well, and I hurt myself or made a total fool of myself. I remember in the season finale of Dollhouse, there was this epic scene, and there were 5 cameras, and there were 250 extras, and we all get off the truck, and I have my gun, and I'm dressed all cool, and I have my gray streak in my hair, and I'm supposed to round the corner, and it was literally we had rehearsed it, and they had been misting rain all around, and I walked out, and I totally just my boot just slipped, and I went up, and I shot some guy by accident, and then landed on my cush, and it wasn't no one saw. It was it was on 5 cameras in front of 250 people, and I was the biggest loser of the day. And I broke my elbow, and I had to go to the emergency room, and then I was so embarrassed, I was like, I'm going back! I don't care! And we had to kind of shoot around my cast and sling for the rest of the episode.
Yeah. Well, thank you for telling
It's
us
hard
about
to be a
that
badass,
embarrassing incident. Thank you.
Oh, and now a child, I feel horrible again.
I can't. You think that?
Okay, hi.
Oh, thank
You're
you.
so sweet.
Thank you.
Thank you. What's good advice for me to become an actress?
Oh, just wait, more years. Just wait a long time, because you only get to be, I'm gonna sound like such a mom, you only get to be a kid once, and you've got plenty of years to work and work hard for your money and do all that stuff. So maybe just, put it up there on a shelf and look at it, and maybe you can do some plays in school. I did that. I was a squirrel in Pinocchio. No, I was a fish in Pinocchio. Remember, he gets eaten by the whale? I was in the background with a cardboard cutout. I was a squirrel in Cinderella in my play. I never got the lead part, but I always had an important part. I think we can all agree. And then, when you're a little older, then you can do all kinds of things. You could go to acting school. all kinds of different things. What's your name? You're so cute. And you're so
Faith.
brave getting up in front of all these people.
Faith.
Your name's Faith. That's right, you're Faith. Aw. Well, Faith, call me in a few years. We'll work something out. You obviously have tackled the first thing, which is not being afraid to, speak in front of lots of people. So that's good. Check.
Thank you so much.
So cute.
Sir, could you
She's
take
like, I
the
don't want
mic?
to give up the
first?
spotlight right now.
Thank you. Thank you. So cute. My gosh.
Thanks. Hi, I was the Scarecrow in my second grade play.
Oh, nice.
I did a lot of theater in college, and I decided it actually wasn't a hard decision to stick with community theater after that. I eventually went on to IT and tech support, and now I'm teaching social workers how to use a database for homeless services.
Awesome.
In an alternate universe where Eliza didn't go on to become an actress, where do you think her career path might have taken her?
Oh, she'd be, I'm right now kind of addicted to like online and university like extension courses. So I'm figuring that out. I'm sort of covering all different areas. I wish I had more time in Texas, but I have my modern backyard biology gardening class tomorrow in Venice. Yes, I'm learning how to reduce my carbon footprint and grow my own weeds and veggies. And then I love political science. My mother, what she teaches, I've always loved. And I'm doing a fundraising class right now to I have like a triangle plan. Like I want the political science background, so when I go somewhere, like I know what I'm talking about and I know what their kind of political socioeconomic system is. And then I also like kind of counseling and recovery work, and then I want to be able to learn how to raise a lot of money to help those places. So it's a nice little triangle.
Thanks.
That's my plan. That's what I'm doing. Everyone's talk
So
about
I'm back.
faith
I'm
more.
the sequel. I'm sorry. I have another question.
You're
It's
back.
a much better one. I'm a huge Buffy fan. I didn't have a good question the first time, and now I do.
You're hard. You're too hard on yourself, man.
My heart's like racing right now because I'm so excited. The season 4 episode, "Who Are You?", where you guys trade bodies. That episode is awesome.
Thank you.
And when I watch it, every time I watch it, I can't help but wonder how you and Sarah Michelle planned to do that. And I wanted to know if you could talk a little bit about how you guys did that, because you guys did awesome imitations of each other.
Thank you.
Because in my mind, I'm thinking you're going, now don't get offended if I do it like this. So how was it?
We didn't really talk to each other about it. We both just like got a bunch of tape and went in our trailers and we're like, yeah, gotcha. And then I don't know. I watched a lot of tape of her and kind of watched how she did that like talking out of the side of her mouth thing and Giles. And then she just like, she was convinced that I say about, like the Bostonians sound Canadian when they say about. I don't
think so.
get that, but she really rocked that. And then, she put on the leather pants and went and fooled around with her boyfriend and did all the stuff. And I loved that episode. It was fun to do.
It's like my favorite.
I think the
It's
crew
probably
had
one of
the
my-
most fun with it.
That's what was great about it. It was so fun to watch because you guys were having so much fun with it. So and by that time, it had hit its stride. Awesome job, though.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have about 5 minutes, not quite, so we could take perhaps 1 or 2 more questions. I apologize to those waiting. Go ahead, young lady.
I'm short.
That's okay.
I guess I wanted to ask you about, of course, in Buffy, you've been getting a lot of Buffy questions, but did you like kind of playing kind of going from the good guys to kind of like the bad guy, and then kind of like, I don't know, everybody started feeling bad for you, but then they still hated you, and then stuff like that. So.
Yeah, no, I liked it, and I could always tell what episode had aired based on the way people approached me on the street. They were either like, "You're so awesome," or they were like, "I hate you, who do you think you are? Coming into town, stealing Buffy's boyfriend and her friends." And so I could always tell from the fan response that, the character was moving people. It always depended on which direction. But again, just that kind of like going all around and hitting on different notes was one of my favorite things about that character. And I loved like even when she was being really, really bad and like torching people's faces, people were like, she's just misunderstood. And I'm like, yeah, like, she's not evil. I feel so bad for her. I'm like, wow.
She had a really rough life.
She had a really tough background. Yeah, man. She lived in a hotel and everything. Boston streets were hard on her. I'm like, she's killing people. And they're like, redemption, man.
She didn't have a Christmas.
Totally.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
One more quick one.
Hi.
We can do it.
You mentioned history of interest in politics by yourself and your family,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just curious, what's your opinion of what you think the path the country is going on, and if you had
Do you
control.
follow me on Twitter?
No, I didn't. Sorry.
You can find out a lot about how I feel on Twitter. I feel like in a space like this, we want to. I don't want to start any big rumbles, but I think I definitely have a strong opinion, and I voice it because not because I think that just I'm a dumb actress and people should listen to what I say. I'm a human being and I have my opinions, and that's what Twitter is about, is kind of saying who you are and what you believe in. And so if I turn anybody off, that's your prerogative, and different folks, different strokes, but I have hope, and yeah. Obama. Sorry. Go ahead. Romney was my bishop, too, and I'm still voting for Obama.
Wow.
I just made a T-shirt that did say that 2 nights ago.
I want to thank the audience.
I'm about to get killed.
Sorry. They carry guns here, just by the way.
Oh,
They're
thank
allowed
you
to.
for that reminder.
I want to thank this audience so very much. You were terrific. And also, let's give a big round of applause for Eliza Dushku. Thank you so much for being here.
I have Halloween candy at my table, so if you want to come, I was going to have a Halloween party in LA this weekend, but I thought I'd come here and we could have a Halloween party. So I'm giving out sugar at my table if you want to come by.
Candy, let's go. Let's go. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.